If you're in the market for a 6 or 7 seater SUV that costs between 15 to 25 lakhs, your choices are the MG Hector Plus, the 2021 Tata Safari, and the aging old XUV 500. Now this is when Hyundai decided they wanted a piece of the action too, and thus the all-new Hyundai Alcazar. The very first thing that catches your eye on the exterior is the trio beam LED headlamp. It is the same one found on the Creta and it looks just as good on the Alcazar. Now what is completely different is the dark chrome exterior grille, which looks really nice. You can also see the front parking camera under the Hyundai logo. Now taking a look at below the headlamp, you can see one of the front parking sensors, below which you'll find the indicator as well as fog lamp housing. You can also see the front skid plate over here. Now overall, Hyundai has done a good enough job to differentiate the Creta and the Alcazar, and I really love the dark chrome grille treatment given to the Alcazar. It really does differentiate it from the Creta. Coming to the side of the Alcazar, this is where you see where that extra 200mm length has gone to. Now taking a closer look at all the details on the side of the car, the very first thing that catches your eye is this beautiful 18-inch diamond cut alloy wheels. And good thing is that disc brake is standard all around, both front and back. Now on the fender, you can see the auto badge. And taking a closer look at the outside rearview mirror, you can see the side view camera, which is part of the 360-degree camera system. Unlocking the car, it projects a Hyundai logo from the side view mirror onto the ground. Since it's a bright day, you can't see it that clearly. And just like with all Hyundais, locking the car folds the mirror in. Now the side step you see over here is not an accessory and it is a standard fitment, which is quite neat. Another neat little touch is this design element that comes from the A pillar all the way back to the C pillar, finished in gloss black. That's a really neat touch. What is even better is the panoramic sunroof that is standard across all the variants of the Alcazar. You can also see the shark fin antenna over here. Coming to the rear of the Alcazar, right above the 2.0 badging, you have your honeycomb inspired LED tail lamps. And right between them you have your Alcazar badging finished in both the chrome and dark chrome finish, which is really nice. And on the right hand side you have your signature badging, which denotes that this is one of the topmost variants available. Right below which you can see your dual tone bumper as well as the dual tip exhaust. Now overall the rear of the Alcazar is much more balanced in design and I like it much better than the front. Now coming to the most important part of the Alcazar, with all the seats up and opening up the boot lid, we are welcomed by what Hyundai claims to be a class-leading 180 liters of boot space. Now no fancy electronic tailgate over here, everything is done manually. The 180 liters of boot space does seem good enough. What helps it is the wide and low loading point. Now this part over here can be opened up to see a few more kit and a small little storage space. On the right hand side is your luggage lamp, on the left hand side is your Bose subwoofer. Now the third row of seats can be split 50-50 to open up more boot space. To get into the Alcazar, it's your normal keyless system, but this key comes with a remote engine start and stop system. So holding it down does start up the engine, which is useful in certain cases. And holding it down again does end up stopping the engine, which is a really neat little touch. Opening up the door, you're welcomed by a very well finished door pad in the armrest in leather, a strip of the ambient light, Bose speakers, and a very well sized door pocket. Now, taking a look at the seats, they are finished in black and brown leather and they are of top notch quality. Now, these are 8-way power adjustable seats, so finding the perfect driving position isn't going to be too hard. What helps is the fact that both the passenger as well as the driver's seat is ventilated. Taking a look at the interior of the Alcazar, it is similar to the Creta except it's finished in brown and gloss black. Now, taking a closer look at the steering wheel of the Alcazar, on the left hand side is your media and telephone controls, and on the right hand side is your MID controls. Now, behind that you have your upshift paddle for the automatic transmission as well as your indicator and headlamp controls. On the left hand side you have your downshift paddle as well as your wiper stalk. The steering is very good to hold and the perforated leather does certainly help in that. Now, coming to the most important part of the Alcazar's cabin, that is the 10.2-inch display for the speedometer and the MID, which can be changed using the drive mode selector over here. Now, this is in sport mode, so changing it to the eco changes the display into this, and changing it into comfort mode puts the display into this mode, which is really neatly done. Now, another neat little trick is that using the indicator stalk, you can switch on the blind view monitor for the respective side the indicator is switched on to, which is by far the coolest thing I've seen on any car. Now, you can scroll through the MID using the steering controls to go through a host of displays that the car gives you. The display's resolution is crisp and can be read under any condition of light. Coming to the center console of the Alcazar, it is exactly the same as the Creta except it is finished in gloss black. The 10.2-inch sound system is exactly the same with music playing through 8 Bose speakers. Now, the ambient light is the only thing different here. Instead of the one color you get on the Creta, on the Alcazar you can choose 64 different colors. Yep, 64 different colors for your interior ambient lighting. Now, right below that you have your physical buttons for the audio system, which is a huge plus in my book. Below that you have your automatic climate control with physical controls again. And right below that you have your wireless charging system with a 12-volt socket, a USB port for charging and a USB port for your media system. Further below we have the transmission selector for the 6-speed automatic and the drive and traction mode selector. Below which you have your electronic parking brake, your auto hold function and the ventilation control for the passenger as well as the driver's seat. You also have two very well shaped cup holders which are deep enough to hold big cups and the driver's armrest which is very well shaped and sized. Now, a neat little trick with the Alcazar using the 360-degree camera system is pressing the surround view monitor button over here. You get the 360-degree angle of the car. Now, you can zoom in and out from the top view a bit, and there are multiple angles to choose from for the rear as well as the side camera to help park this big car easily in the city. Now, I must add that the quality of the camera is much better than certain other models that are available in the market right now. The inside rearview mirror is an auto dimming type with your blue link buttons attached to it, and on top you have a sunglass holder as well as the in-cabin lights which have a neat little trick that when switched on switches on the rear lights as well. Now, in between you have a sunroof operation button over here which, like all other Hyundai cars, are one touch in operation. So as you can see, I can close the blind completely over here, and with just one touch I can open up the blind as well as the sunroof. Another neat little trick is that I can use the voice command for the BlueLink system to open up the sunroof by just saying, "Hello BlueLink, I want to see the sky." Coming to the second row of seats for the Alcazar, this is how the 6-seater variant looks like. Now, getting into the rear seats, they are extremely comfortable. There's a good amount of legroom as well as headroom. Now, taking a look at the rear AC vents, as you can see over here, that are stand across the variant. You can also see the display for the air purifier as well as the armrest, which is part of the center console which cannot be adjusted. Here you can see the wireless charger as well as the cup holders that are part of the central console. Now overall the rear seat of the Alcazar is comfortable, especially if you're chauffeur driven. And if you're chauffeur driven, there's this neat little trick where the flip out table has a dedicated tablet holder as well as a cup holder on its side. To get to the third row of seats, it's a simple one-touch tip and tumble of the second row of seats. As you can see, access is pretty much easy to the third row of seats. Now the third row is not exactly meant for adults. As you can see, my brother is cramped up into the third row with no room left. What makes matters worse is the fact that the window for the third row is extremely small. These seats are clearly meant for kids. But what is nice though is that you get 2 aircon vents as well as 2 USB ports for charging. What powers the Alcazar is a 1.5 liter diesel engine that puts out 115 PS of power and 250 Newton meters of torque. The exact same unit found on the Creta, but tuned to take the extra load of weight the Alcazar has. Now what I am interested and am testing right now is the 2 liter engine that puts out 160 PS of power and 191 Newton meters of torque. The exact same unit found on the Elantra as well as the Tucson. Now both these engines are mated to a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed automatic transmission. Taking the Alcazar out for a spin, the engine in this variant is the 2 liter petrol engine, the same one found in the Elantra and the Tucson, albeit in a different state of tune. Now the power figures are 159 PS of power and 191 Newton meters of torque paired to a conventional 6-speed automatic. There are multiple drive modes and traction modes to choose from as well. Power output is linear and is smooth when the car is in comfort or eco mode. Change it into sport mode and there's a small bump to that linear delivery of power. NVH is excellent with the engine being only audible when revved hard, and both the road as well as wind noise is filtered very well and does not make its way into the cabin. The automatic transmission does do a good job to keep the engine in its power band and the shift speeds are decent. Now coming to the fuel efficiency for this automatic variant, it was hovering around the 10 km per liter mark when driven around the city. Ask the engine for more and it'll come down to single digits. Handling and body roll did seem decent and at no point was I reminded that I was driving a 4.5 meter long car. Coming to the steering feel, the steering felt just like how my head feels right before my SEM results are announced. Very light. Now out in the city I don't mind the steering being light because it was easy to maneuver the car around, but out on the highway this will not inspire confidence. Overall the driving dynamics of the Alcazar feels decent enough. If only the steering had a bit more heft and feel to it, it would have added to the experience greatly. Here is a look at all the safety features available on the Hyundai Alcazar. Feel free to pause the video to go through them. And here are the 5 things that I like and dislike about the Hyundai Alcazar. So what do I think of the Hyundai Alcazar? Well, first off, props to Hyundai for differentiating the Alcazar from the Creta. Instead of just throwing in 2 seats, a bit of chrome and slapping a name that is legendary for a reason. Now I know the last third row of seats is only meant for kids, the steering is extremely light, and you can't have a 7-seater option on any variant from the Platinum O and onwards. But even the base variant of the Alcazar is very well equipped. I mean, take a look at all the equipment that comes in the base variant. The quality of the interior is also fantastic. The 2 liter engine is also really nice and really adds to the character of the Alcazar. The Alcazar is also loaded to the grills with features including Hyundai's Blue Link connected car technology, which is available from the base variant as well. Styling is also much more easier on your eye than the Creta, and I am personally a fan of the Alcazar's design over the Creta's. Now here comes the important part. Should you buy an Alcazar over the Creta? Well, if you want to spend 3 more lakhs to get a better equipped, more premium and 2 extra seats or a bigger boot over the Creta, you should go for the Alcazar. If not, the Creta should suffice. So that was my review for the Hyundai Alcazar. Now a special thanks to Mr. Rizwan and Mr. Bala from PSM Hyundai. If you are from Chennai and plan on checking out any Hyundai vehicle, I request you to do so at PSM Hyundai. You can contact them using the info shown on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching this video. Do consider leaving a like and subscribing to my channel as it helps me out a lot. Do also leave a comment on what you think about the Hyundai Alcazar. I'll see you guys in my next video. Until then, stay safe, wear a mask, wear your seatbelt and drive safe.